Welcome back to episode 259 of Stogie Geeks, Volume 3. I am your host this week, Joe Hozempa. Co-host, Joe D. Live in studio, Mike Bellady from MLB Cigar Ventures. Check out what's going on. Follow them on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, MLB Cigar Ventures or MLBCigarVentures.com. This is the Sticks of the Week segment where we tell you what we have been smoking. By the way, my sticks are posted at StogieGeeks.com. Click on Stogies. They're already there, and they're also on the wiki page, wiki.StogieGeeks.com.
As are mine.
Joe D.
Yeah, man.
What have you been smoking?
Leading off the...
Or Joe Money.
Yeah.
Joe Money, yeah.
From Foundation,
You
the
rich
High Clear...
fuck.
from Foundation, the High Clear Castle. I wish I had an opportunity to smoke this before doing the list. Maybe things would have changed. However, Connecticut Shade Wrapper, Brazilian Modafita Binder, Nicaraguan Filler. I smoked the Corona, 5.5 by 46. $12 to $15 price point, depending on the size. There's 5 sizes, box of 20. Very wood and nuttiness present with the cigar. Just enough pepper. And debuted at the 2017 IPCPR. Medium plus in strength. Founded Nick Melillo and made at the Tabacalera A.J. Fernandez factory. History of this stick goes back to 1679, and the Downton Abbey TV show was shot on location there. Melillo's big history buff, and the Earl of Caravanan. Yeah, whoops. Where's Paul? Anyway, this particular location is synonymous with discoveries in history like King Tut, and I guess upon each discovery and notability, what they find, tradition of mixing some whiskey and bourbon and cigars.
Sounds like my kind of place.
Yeah, sounds like a great place. And Nick's a big history buff, so this is a box-worthy stick for me. Very, very enjoyable, and gonna venture back to it.
I've not had that one, but I will tell you that Nick Melillo makes great stuff.
He does.
He knows his stuff, man.
One of those,
and one of the great guys in the industry too.
Yep, one of those companies moving and shaking.
You've been getting into those foundations there. Are they local? Where have you been hiding, and where have you been finding them?
There's quite a few of his offerings here in Rhode Island. This particular stick, I had to reach out to my last trip to New Hampshire a couple weeks back. I saw it and been dying to try it. So it lived up to the hype. Very good.
This is a Joe Hozempa selfish question.
Yes, sir.
Where are they in Rhode Island? Are they in any particular shop?
How about right next door? This
Really?
The High Clear Castle.
Yeah.
I don't believe anywhere in Rhode Island right now.
Okay.
That I haven't been able to find.
Okay.
But all the rest of the sticks, they're pretty well distributed in Rhode Island now.
Okay.
Foundation High Clear Castle.
You've been mentioning them a couple of past episodes, and
yeah.
Usually, like me, it goes through your travels.
My next New Hampshire trip in a couple weeks, I'll scoop one for you.
Yeah, cool.
It's worth it. Yep.
Yeah, awesome. I had the Davidoff Golf Scorecard Edition. It comes in a 5-pack, right? And it's an interesting sales business model there. But the size is a Grand Toro. It's a 6x55. You have a Ecuadorian Habano wrapper, a Dominican Palito in there. And here we go. That's Dominican Palito for the binder. The filler is a San Vicente Machado.
San Vicente.
Thank you.
What he said.
Thank you. San Vicente Machado Visas. Is that correct?
I don't know what Machado Visas is. I'd have to see the word, but I know of Vicente.
Majorado. Mejorado. Okay.
Visas.
Then you have the same Mejorado Lajero with some Palito Seco in there for the filler. Complexity, flavor, and balance on a scale of 1 to 10. Complexity, I gave it a 7. Flavor, I gave it a 9. Balance, I gave it an 8. This stick here, it's basically on the lower side in medium strength. You get hints of black pepper and that quote-unquote Davidoff hay that you could always expect from their line. It creates a smooth stick, open draw, smooth classic taste that you will enjoy, right? But what I think about this from a marketing perspective, it comes in a 5-pack, right? They're all the same size, and one of them has a gold band. And the idea is that when you have a foursome, You pass it out to your foursome, and the winner gets to smoke the one at the gold band.
And there's no difference in the cigar. It's just got a different band.
It just got a different band. So in other words, you show up with a 5-pack, you all light up a Davidoff Golf Edition, a golf scorecard edition. That being said, you pass them out to your traditional foursome in the golf. The winner gets to smoke the one with the gold band, and away you go.
So I've never had that cigar, but that blend sounds really good to me.
It's very good.
San Vicente is a tremendous tobacco that's, in my opinion, underused. And that Piloto Cubano is a tremendous tobacco. I actually use that in the Aventador, and it's in this. In the RAF as well. It's a tremendous tobacco, and I love the Ecuadorian Habano wrapper.
And I will never forget San Vicente moving forward, I promise.
Vicente, yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great tobacco.
Absolutely. That being said, like I said, it comes in a 5-pack, so I gave it a box worthy because it's only available within the 5-packs. But, I mean, you know, I don't know if I would pass it out to my foursome, quite frankly. You know,
What's the price point on it?
It's about $24 a stick. You know, so it's a pretty expensive foursome.
Sounds about right.
You know,
it's not. Listen, it's no unicorn, but I mean, it's you know.
Yeah, you know, they are good sticks. Like,
It's a business foursome, you know.
You know, it's you know, it would have to be a really good client, but then again, you know, I don't know. You know, it's I like the idea behind it. You know, I definitely like the idea behind it. Take it for what it is. So if you golf with me, and I don't give you a Davidoff golf scorecard, I apologize in advance.
It means buy some sponsorships. That's what that means.
And then away you go, right? So there you go. So I did give it a box worthy, but again, keep in mind a box worthy is a 5-count.
Nice. Next to me is the Dos Hombres Honduran cabinet. Honduran Puro. It's a $5 stick. 6 sizes, box of 20. You smoke the Robusto 5x50.
That's the one Joe hands out if he golfs with you and you're not a sponsor.
Well, wait, that's that back nine. That back nine stick. Released in 2017 IPCPR. Sold through Two Guys Smoke Shop under the United Cigars branch. Notes of coffee, light earth, a little bit of barnyard. Created as a way to level the taxes in surrounding states through goods. Dave Garofalo there. Really enjoyable, cheap smoke that smokes higher than its price point. And this was a $5 for me, but pairs really well with coffee, hot chocolate, and if you can't enjoy that $24 smoke at all times on the golf course, maybe mix in one of these guys.
There you go.
Nice.
There you go.
Dos Hombres.
I've officially had 3 of the 4 sizes of the EP Carrillo Dusk. So I did post it up on the Stogie Geeks website. By the way, when under the available sizes, if it's bold, those are the ones that I have had. So, EP Carrillo Dusk, I had the Stout Toro. That's a 6x52. Wrapper is just made right here in the good old United States. The binder is Ecuadorian. The filler is Nicaraguan. Complexity, flavor, and balance. Complexity, I gave it a 7. Flavor, I gave it an 8. Balance, I gave it a 7. The available sizes is a Robusto, 5x50. I did have that. The Stout Toro, I mentioned I had that. That's 6x52. In the Obscure, which is a 7x54. The only other size is a Solitos, which is a 6x60. But in regards to the EP Carrillo Dust, it starts out with notes of coffee and cedar, true medium body stick. Towards the end, you get a mix of white pepper. You just start to get that subtle leather notes that just start to pop out. But what I like about this stick is especially towards the last 1/3 of it is you do get a sweetness with that leatherness trying to poke out. I kind of like that. When you start the stick, you really don't get that component. You kind of get that pepper blast. But that being said, the EP Carrillo Dusk, I gave it an official box split.
Solid. Smoking currently the David P. Ehrlich, which is one of my top 10 sticks, by the way. Great stick for that. Great stick for that back nine. Or anytime. Next to me was the Byron 21. It's got that purple band on it. I had the luxury of reaching out and trying a couple of these guys after a long wait. Ecuadorian wrapper, Dominican binder with an undisclosed filler. 6 and an 8x55, the Elegantes. This is a $33 stick. It's not an everyday stick, but you treat yourself every now and then. Comes in 4 sizes with it in a humidified cabinet of 25. Notes of barnyard, honey, syrup, and a little bit of pepper on the retrohale. Woodiness, and nuts on that back third. This thing was bouncing around all over, crazy amount of flavor. And 4 years of age prior to rolling, 5 years of age after in cedar cabinets. Debuted at the 2016 IPCPR, made in Costa Rica, and distributed by United Cigar. This is a fight Chuck Norris for me all day.
Fight Chuck Norris.
Chuck Norris is catching a beating on this one.
Really?
Yep.
Well, I don't think he's catching the bean. I think Chuck Norris will be smoking the cigar.
I'm going to tag my friends.
At the end of that fight, Chuck Norris will be smoking the cigar. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm going with.
Call the boys from the Rowdy Boys from Texas. We'll take them down. But that's again. That's the Byron 21. It's got a purple band on it.
Yeah, it's a good stick. Yeah, for sure. This stick, the Underground RAF.
Yes.
Right. Blast of pepper right towards the end. And what I like about it is you had gifted us another stick, and I'm going to get to it, but it's like you really want this to continue. Yeah. So very high rating for this. I don't know if you got the pepper blast towards the end, Joe. Yep. It kind of switched. It switched from that sweetness we were talking about within the previous segment, and now I'm getting that really, really deep pepper.
Really fun. I dig a cigar that knows where it wants to be and goes through that progression, a little bit up front. Get some nice flavor, and then it kind of wakes you up at the end.
Yeah. Retro hail with the pepper will wake you up at the end.
Yep.
For sure. Like it's a super solid stick, Mike.
Thank you.
It's a great job on that. What have you been smoking outside of your stuff, or you don't?
No, I do. I smoke a lot.
Boom. Some don't. Some are like, oh.
No, I smoke a lot of stuff. In fact, we were talking about Nick Melillo, and one of my favorite cigars I've had in many, many years is his Wise Man Maduro. That came out this year, or last year, 2017. It's unbelievable.
That is another one.
That's a game changer of a cigar.
Well, almost made the list. It's like tough.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, that would be right at the top of my list.
Yeah, and the reason why is I haven't been exposed to them enough to make me gravitate back to it.
Yeah,
and also locally, I believe, and you could probably correct me, it's available in one shop so far. Maybe 2 or 3, but not the ones I frequent.
2 or 3.
Yeah. So it's one of those. It's one of those where I really haven't been exposed to it enough, but it was on my list.
I still rank Maduro in the 3-hole behind the original El Wednesday, and now the High Clare Castle takes that number 2 hole for me.
Really?
That's now, just where I'm at.
See, I have the Wise Man Maduro ahead of. I love the El Wednesday too, but the Wise Man Maduro for me is one of the best cigars I've smoked in a long time.
Yes.
Well, this cigar, I was very bummed out, not with the cigar itself. I picked the cigar first, and then I went to a local shop, and I am not going to disclose the local shop, but they didn't have coffee. I'm like, are you kidding me? All right. I'm like, can I get a coffee black? Oh, I'm sorry, we don't have. I'm like, well, you know what? What? You don't have coffee? I had the Don Pepin Garcia Cuban Classic.
Oh, it's one of my all-time faves.
Which, well, for me personally, I was like, I searched through the humidor, and I'm like, had it, blah, 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 and I'm like, oh, it was a 10 o'clock in the morning,
the stage
Saturday appointment.
You had the stick, you had the location.
Yeah, I had the stick, and I'm like, Don Pepin Black with a coffee.
With the exception of that coffee.
Is the bomb, right? Yeah. It's the complete bomb, complete package.
It's a nice
meeting with
wake-up.
a client, and the client's like, you want something to drink? I'm like, drink? I'm like, I ordered a coffee, I didn't even have a coffee. I'm like, it's 10 o'clock in the morning. Right?
That is a great cigar.
Didn't mix it with a Bloody Mary. Mixed it with some sort of it was like a hazelnut craft beer from Rhode Island, and it was all right. It was 10 in the morning. Like I totally did the cigar first, let the craft beer sit there, had the cigar, and then did that. But that being said, did not reflect my rating at all on the cigar. Just my local cigar experience, because I know they're watching. If you don't have coffee, that's crazy. Right? And the girl, I'm like, how do you not have coffee in the cigar shop? Get it
right.
You're like a player. You're a mover and a shaker here. Yeah. But anyway, get yourself some coffee. But anyway, the Don Pepin Garcia Cuban Classic. For those of you who are scoring at home, that's the one with the black and gold label. There is a Don Pepin Blue out there. Somehow it got a higher rating on Cigar Aficionado than Don Pepin Black. I don't know what they were thinking at that point. I've always didn't know what they were thinking at that point. I honestly think that's where it's at with that series of the stick. But anyway, the format it had was a 1950 Toro. It's a 6x52 wrapper binder filler, all Nicaraguan. Complexity, flavor, and balance. Complexity, I gave it a 7. Flavor, 7. Balance, I gave it an 8. The available sizes, it's available in 6x52, 5.5x54, 5x50, and a 6x60. I have had all of the sizes there. This has been one of those sticks that has just been around for a long time. When I had it, I was like, ooh, yeah, I'm going to review it and talk about it here on Stogie Geeks. The Cuban Classic starts off with notes of coffee, and then you get a little bit of I was getting a sweetness, and when I was doing my research, trying to figure out, I'm like, what am I tasting? What am I tasting? Did some research, saw it online. Oh, cherries, perfect. That's it, right? Getting a little bit of sweetness. It does settle in throughout the stick. The smoke is rich and full, but however, it does not linger on your palate at all. Right? It didn't linger on my palate at all. It was rich and full of pepper. You get a great pepper blast. I'm a fan of the pepper.
Yep.
Right. So that being said, get through the stick. Seek out this old gem. You will enjoy what they're offering for sure. That being said, in regards to the Stogie Geeks rating system, Don Pepin Garcia Cuban Classic in the Toro size, I gave it a box split.
Nice.
Now, your highest rating is the Fight Chuck Norris?
The Oasis.
The highest rating is the Oasis.
See, I would put that up at the Oasis. At least a Fight Chuck Norris.
You know,
That's one of my all-time favorite cigars.
Yeah, I get a lot of comments at joeh@stogiegeeks.com. Do you like anything? Right, is one of the is one of the comments there. You know, you never give anything higher than a fire. That's not true.
I get that while I'm out in the shop. So the guy's like, "What is this guy's deal?" You know, he's a hater. He's the high ratings. They're there. You gotta watch your pay
Gotta
attention.
dig deep.
Yeah, dig deep for the buttery ones.
I just I have given Fight Chuck Norris, and I have given an Oasis on the show.
Oh yeah,
I've given one Oasis on the show, and I've given about 2, maybe 3 Fight Chuck Norris. I don't know. I'm not trying to that's not my shtick.
Well, but I mean, listen, Oasis is like kind of Hall of Fame caliber, right?
Yeah.
That's what that means. So there shouldn't be that many Oasis.
correct.
Right.
Correct.
Right.
And there should be more, but still not that many Fight Chuck Norrises.
Right.
No watering down of the ratings.
Right.
They got to
That's
hold true.
I mean, what's the alternative? I can be like a major publication and give everything a 93 or a 94, right?
Any publication in particular?
This is a few, right? No, I'm just saying, what is the alternative?
There has to be criteria and an honest assessment, and that's yours.
And then I have been honest and candid with the Stogie Geeks listener, saying, hey, there's 2 components that make me give a high rating. Number 1, stops me from talking, which
Never happens.
Which for those of you,
Never.
for those of you who know me in a cigar shop, like a lot of people, oh, I recognize your voice. I knew you were here. Whichever. I want it to stop me from talking. And number 2, I want it like this. I want this stick to continue.
Right? Fingertips. Oh yeah.
And believe me, there have been some times we've had some guests, and I'm like, okay, next stick, we're in. Give me some more.
Let's go back and review all of the episodes and see which ones you didn't smoke.
Right. If you notice my actions, you'll notice.
Right.
But that's just my criteria. I really want it to stick out. I really want it to stick out. But yeah, I do get that email. Is there anything that you really like? And what I think a box split is
solid rating.
You also got to remember.
Absolutely solid.
A lot of the rating system. I take the rating system seriously. That's what Stogie Geeks. That's the criteria that they had given me. Right.
We did not create the rating system. It is what it is. And,
that is the official Stogie Geeks rating system.
Within.
I'm not a cigar collector. I know I talk to people all the time. Oh, I have 300 cigars in my humidor, and I like to. I'm a type of person. You give me the gentleman we had from HR, right? He shipped us a cigar,
Drake.
right? Yep. They're giving us the cigar. They're announcing the cigar over at IPCPR in 2018. It's coming out. It's gone.
Right.
I already smoked that thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
I smoked that thing within 24 hours of the interview with Spencer. It is what it is. There's no time like the present. So when you get my type of personality in, for me to have an Oasis, it's got to be a
Out-of-body experience.
A diamond
Yeah.
in the rough, you know? And, but yeah, I get that all the time. So you get that too, right? A lot of people on your travels.
I get it about you.
Yeah.
I should just direct them right to your email.
Well, for the record, since we're being candid here with some of the listeners,
Yep.
they're like, well, we can always tell Joe D separate from Joe H because Joe D likes everything and you hate everything. So I don't hate everything.
I do like quite a bit. There's always, there should be hopefully, a little something in there for everybody, and certainly through, with each company too. Maybe not a particular offering, but there's probably something in there. You just gotta venture out. You gotta try them.
Right. You also got to look at taking the rating, right? Don Pepin, Cuban Classic, box split. That I look at that rating as I would buy 10 of them.
Right.
Right. I would not buy a box. Why? Because there's other stuff that I would smoke. I would. And that's just the way it goes.
It's a great rating, man.
There you go. Hope that's been said. Having been said, what else? I have 2 more, Joe.
I've got 2 more as well.
Awesome.
Staying in the My Father's Factory, next for me is the Letelier Identité Melange, the newest offering from Letelier. Ecuadorian Sanctus Spiritus wrapper, Nicaraguan binder and filler, 5 5/8 by 46, the special number 2. The binder and filler also include Sanctus Spiritus as well, and this is the only particular stick that incorporates in all 3 phases the Sanctus Spiritus that I'm aware of. I tried to do a little research and couldn't find it otherwise. $8 price point, 3 sizes, box of 20. Predominant chocolate and leather notes, little pepper on the front, natural tobacco. Identité means identity, melange means mixture, and I think that's where, right there with the Letelier brand, they incorporate that Sanctus Spiritus quite a bit. Casey and Pete Johnson. Sanctus Spiritus is a hybrid of Criollo and Palo de Oro seeds, made in Nicaragua with My Father's Factory, and in my opinion, it's a true medium plus. This is one of my top 10, and this is a box-worthy stick all day. Letelier Identité, specifically in that number 2 for me. Special number 2.
I found a hidden revisit gem here. I had the Edgar Hoyle One Shot One Kill.
Okay.
Or OSAC, as the label says. It is a 6.5 by 50 Salomon. The wrapper is a Ecuadorian Habano. Binder is Honduran. Filler is Dominican with a mix of Honduran in it. Complexity, flavor, and balance. Complexity, I gave it a 7. Flavor and balance, I gave them both an 8. All right. It starts off immediately, rich and creamy. What I like about this stick is you notice the foot of the stick kind of just has the binder and filler, and then it blends to the wrapper. I think that's where you get some of that richness right away. Full hint of smoke right away on your palate, great, and then it blends in. I didn't notice much of a transition from that. The foot, it's often called the frayed foot or the Cuban foot there.
Yep.
However, I did get a hint of wood and leather notes that towards the end lead to a touch of cocoa. All right. Awesome pairing. Had that with some coffee. It was great. That being said, the Edgar Hoyle One Shot One Kill, I gave it a 5.
Solid.
You didn't expect it to be a win.
Nothing wrong with a 5 rating.
I would buy 5. I look at a 5 as
If
I would
everyone
buy
that
5
walked
of them.
into a store bought 5 of my cigars, that would be great.
Right. I look at it like I probably had 5 of them a year.
Doesn't mean it's going to be the last time you visit that smoke. It's just 5 at that given time, which is pretty sweet. Last for me was LFD Double Ajero Oscuro Lancero. The stick was gifted to me by Mr. Dave Garofalo. I was able to pin him down for a few minutes, and he was generous enough to chip me off. Ecuadorian Sumatra Oscuro wrapper, Dominican binder and filler. The Lancero 7.5 by 39, $10 price point, box of 20. This was a 2.5 hour smoke for me. Absolutely enjoyable. It's got a really impressive look and feel to it. Very complex, the amount of flavor. Coffee, wood notes predominant with that spice and pepper in there. Very toasty, I'd give it. And made it to Bacalera, La Flor S.A., Lido Gomez, of course. And this is a box-worthy stick as well. I partial to the Lanceros, and this thing hit me right. And It was just, some sticks, you're tied to it for upwards of 2 hours. Maybe it's a little much. 2.5 hours for me. I had nothing going on. The weather was right, sitting in the front of the house, and enjoy the hell out of this.
You want to smoke a Lancero a little slower too, so that's good.
Took my time with it and just really enjoyed it.
That's actually one of the themes I've been talking about over the past, say, 5 episodes, Mike, is taking the time out to smoke a cigar slower to really enjoy what they're offering.
Right, and it's particularly important actually with a Lancero.
Absolutely.
That size in particular, if you smoke it quickly, you can really.
You got to change. You put that extra heat on it.
Yeah, it gets hot quick. So you've got to take a little bit more time between puffs.
Savor it.
That's it.
Before I get to my last stick, we have 2 quick emails. One comes, and Joe, maybe you can help me answer this.
Yep.
Because I have mixed feelings on this.
Oh, God.
Loaded.
This is good.
The subject is Fluente Don Carlos, Eye of the Shark. This comes from Pedro. It says, "Good morning, Joe. My name is Pedro. I come to you from Ontario, Canada. I've been looking high and low for the Eye of the Shark ever since you've mentioned it on the show.
Good luck.
Good luck, Pedro.
Right.
However, wait a minute. He found a place in Florida that is willing to ship 6 to him, okay? And he's selling them at the $21.45 a stick.
Yeah.
He's willing to ship 6. Do you think it's worth getting? Or should I get the Bellicoso from the Bellicoso line that I've been speaking about for the Don Carlos, which is obviously much cheaper? Thank you. Love the show. Cheers, Pedro."
Listen, this guy's in Canada. He's used to paying more than $21 a cigar.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
True.
I mean, I haven't had the Eye of the Shark. I can't speak to the cigar, but if he's going to get them for $21 each, shipped to him in Canada, I mean, you can't even get a machine rolled cigar for $21 in Canada at this point.
Initially, I was going to say, go the Bellicoso. However, grab those 6, smoke the hell out of it, enjoy it. If it's not for you, you are certainly going to find a buyer otherwise.
Yeah. That's
maybe a couple of your buddies or somebody else, local shop. They'll just short of sewing your leg off. They'll do what they got to do to get them.
Yeah. Because we had announced the Eye of the Shark
Right.
a couple episodes back, and then I always make reference to the Fluente Don Carlos line.
Oh yeah,
is a great alternative. It depends, because sometimes that would break the price point, and I take that into consideration for some of the sticks. But my advice, all of our advice all across the board, Pedro, $21.45, suck it up, go for it. Like Mike says, you're definitely used to paying more for sticks, so go for it. I got one other email I want to just get to. By the way, listener feedback is at joeh@stogiegeeks.com. That's my notes. Hey, Joe, I just want to check in, see if you're airing today. I already replied. I want to give a shout out to Brett. Brett, you didn't give me what town you're listening to, so maybe you can reply back. But either way, thanks for listening to the show. Brett's question is, it's kind of more of a request, and it makes sense. And I want to logistically try to do this. He says, is there any way you guys could give a list of what you're going to smoke before the show? So we would have a schedule, right? Here we go, scheduling. This way, we could try to seek it out.
Smoke with us.
And then smoke with us so we can give your interactive feedback live online with the show. 2 things that come out, Brett. Number 1, we are working on true interactive feedback here on the Stogie Geek Show. So that is coming in 2018, so stay tuned for that. But number 2, Joe, I guess we have a task here, and I think we should probably come up with, probably not next week, maybe we should go 2 weeks out, but at least come out like for the next 3 weeks. We're gonna be debuting X and
fun.
Stuff like that.
Yep.
I think that's a great idea, and that comes from Brett there.
I pretty much know a week or 2 in advance. However, there's 3 travels or whatever.
Right.
There's going to be those sticks that pop up, and I'll re-rack my list accordingly if I think it's gonna play well for the episode. But I'm game. That sounds like a fun fun task right there.
At some point during the week, we need to sit down and be a little more organized like that, and it makes more sense. This way, at the very least, the production crew who does get the notes can just feed it in our ear. We can go forth from there. For now until we get the forum up and running. But
that format does work on other shows. It's fun and interactive. If piece. So
Yeah.
I'm game.
Yeah, we'll have to figure that out. Okay. Get in the business, Mike. Any more sticks you been smoking? You want to do one more? What else you been smoking?
Oh, let's see. Oh, you know what I had is actually this is a good friend of mine that makes this cigar too, and he just got into the industry. I bought some Lanceros of his. They're called La Viuda Negra, which means I think the Black Widow.
Okay.
Made by some friends of mine. They're available in Texas right now, and I know he's trying to get some distribution elsewhere, but they're I don't think they're anywhere in this area, but I can certainly share some with you guys.
Oh. Maybe if they want to reach out to us, happy to smoke and debut it here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a really good cigar.
Yeah, definitely. That's 24 Quaker Lane. No. Attention, Joe Hozempa, right? Yeah, absolutely. The last stick I have been smoking is the Fume d'Amour by Illusion.
Mm-hmm.
The size I have is it was the 6.5 by 48. Wrapper, binder, and filler are all Nicaraguan. Complexity, flavor, and balance. Complexity 7, flavor 7, balance I gave it an 8. It's available in 4 different sizes. I listed all the sizes on StogieGeeks.com. Click on Stogies. This stick will not waste your time getting your attention. Creaminess pops up immediately, and so does the pepper.
Yep.
Would you agree so far, Joe?
That was one of my sticks last week. I thoroughly enjoyed that.
Yep. An interesting point about the stick is the cigar uses no Ligero leaves from the plants. Only Seco and Viso leaves were used. With that being said, for me, on my palate, it gets a little salty, then sweet, and then the cedar component towards the end becomes very prominent.
Yep.
Interesting smoke.
Oh, yeah.
I like it. It's one of those lines that you if you do some search with your tobacconist, you could probably get them on clearance, for some odd reason.
Which is crazy.
Which is crazy, but even online and stuff like that. But check with your local tobacconist first. There. That being said, the Fume d'Amour by Illusion, I did give it a box split. I'd buy 10.
Yep.
I'd buy 10.
Paul just gifted me the Lancero. I'm gonna have it sit in my humidor for a couple weeks. I know his humidor is currently jacked.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get it throw it on my own for a little bit, but I'm very excited to try that size.
Yeah. Paul did give me the Lancero as well. I didn't get to it because the Lancero, like I said, when you smoke a Lancero, it's a different stick. Like I really want the time to just sit back, kick back with that stick, and sometimes there's some craziness.
Business aside, you gotta have that Joe time.
Oh, I do.
Yeah,
I do. And every time I have the Joe time, there's no coffee in the place.
Oh,
it drove
shame.
me nuts.
Cue the shame bell from Game of Thrones.
It drove me nuts. So, Mike, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Always a pleasure to be on.
Thank you. And I'm looking forward to seeing, like I said, we're going to be collectively coming up with a top 5 brands to watch in 2018. Collectively, me and the two Joes.
Nice.
I'm sure Paul's going to chime in at some point with that. But MLB Cigar Ventures is definitely making that list. The other one, I'm having a brain fart who they are. They do the Mason Solomon. No, Mason stick. No.
Oh, Herman Solomon.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Yep. That's
you want me to come next week? I can help
help
you through the
piece combo.
Your new co-host is Joe D and Mike Bellamy of Stogie Geeks, and Joe H is out the door. Right. Right.
It's a tough time pinning this guy down, man.
And also in negotiations for top 5 is the black label. And stuff like that.
They're definitely moving. Oh,
yeah. I mean, again, it's going to be hard. Maybe with Paul's interaction as well, we might do top 8 and see what we come up with. But my top 3 in no order yet. But those are definitely the ones that I look forward to in 2018.
I'll take the opportunity on air to from wearing that consumer hat. Thank Mike for his due diligence, hard work, and appreciate it, man.
I appreciate that.
Keep beating the streets because we appreciate the product.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
And you want to stay close to the Stogie Geeks podcast for the next couple weeks because we are announcing a Stogie Geeks bus tour, and it's going to be one hell of a time. Thank you for listening to the Stogie Geeks Show. I am your host, Joe Hozempa. Thank Mike Bellady. Thank you very much for being in studio. And co-host Joe D.
Thank you.
We'll see you next week.